All right, let's get right into it. When you think about wisdom, I mean true, deep wisdom, one name always seems to come up: King Solomon. This wasn't just a smart guy, this was a man who understood the very fabric of the world. He had everything: wealth, incredible power, and a mind that was literally a gift from God. And yet, the end of his story is a flat-out tragedy. A titan of intellect, a giant of faith brought completely to ruin. And that right there is the question that cuts to the bone, isn't it? This is the core of what we're talking about today. See, his downfall wasn't some military defeat or a stock market crash. It came down to his choices, specifically his choices in relationships. So if the absolute pinnacle of human wisdom could fall, it really forces us to ask a tough question about ourselves. So how in the world did that happen? Solomon's life is this profound warning that, hey, your greatest strengths, they can't always protect your deepest vulnerabilities. His legendary mind was just no match for the influences he willingly invited into his life, into his inner circle. And this is really the heart of the matter. This isn't just some old story. It's a fundamental truth about life. Look, you can have all the knowledge, you can have all the right strategies, all the ambition in the world, but if your heart isn't disciplined, you are building your entire legacy on quicksand. The battle for your mission, for your purpose, is won or lost right here on the inside, first. Okay, so let's get practical. I want to break down 3 timeless threats to a man's purpose. And it's so important that you see these not as just types of women, but as destructive patterns, dynamics, that you absolutely have to learn to recognize. We're going to cover what I call the thief of peace, the one that turns your home into a war zone. Then the hijacker of purpose, the one that pulls you off course from your true north. And finally, the test of character, the one that offers you a shortcut that looks great, but actually leads to a dead end. Okay, first step, the thief of peace. Think about it. You're a warrior out in the world, right? You're fighting battles every day for your career, for your vision. But what happens when you come home completely spent, only to realize you have to fight a second war? So what does this pattern look like? It's all about constant conflict. It's a dynamic where peace actually feels uncomfortable to the other person, so they create chaos just to feel something. Every solution you find, they've got a new problem. This isn't about having a healthy disagreement now and then. This is a constant atmosphere of strife that just drains your single most valuable resource, your energy. You know, this ancient advice uses such an extreme image for a reason. Just picture it, living on the edge of a roof, out in the rain and the wind, and that's presented as better than being in a home filled with conflict. It just brilliantly captures the soul-crushing cost of having nowhere to recharge, no sanctuary. So here's the bottom line. Your energy is finite. It's like a battery. And if you spend all of it managing drama and putting out fires at home, you're going to have absolutely nothing left for your mission. Your home has to be the charging station for your soul. It has to be a place of peace. Period. All right, our second threat is a little more subtle, but believe me, it is just as dangerous. This is the hijacker of purpose, and it happens when there's a fundamental mismatch in your core values and where you're headed in life. This dynamic really shows up in 2 main ways. First, it's when your partner just doesn't share your deepest convictions, what you believe life is all about. And second, it's when their character, their lack of wisdom or discretion, is just fundamentally at odds with the kind of legacy you're trying to build. The metaphor of a yoke here is just perfect. A yoke is a tool, right? It's designed to get 2 powerful animals to pull a heavy load in the exact same direction. Now, if you're pulling with all your might toward a life of purpose and integrity, but your partner is pulling just as hard toward comfort and status, that friction is going to tear you apart. Eventually, that yoke's going to break. And this proverb, wow, it uses a deliberately shocking image to drive the point home about character. A gold ring is beautiful, it's valuable, but its value is completely, totally negated when you put it in a pig's snout. It's on a foundation of foolishness or pride or just an unwillingness to learn. The beauty becomes irrelevant. So you gotta remember this. A true partner is a co-builder, a co-heir to the kingdom you're trying to create. You need a rock, not a flower. Choosing a partner based on how they look over who they are on the inside, well, that's like trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. It's just not gonna work. And that brings us to our final threat, the test of character. This is the dynamic of temptation. And man, it preys on a man's deepest insecurities, our ego, our loneliness, and our deep need to feel validated. This threat is a master of the shortcut. It offers you the feeling of being seen, of being admired, of being desired, but it's completely detached from the hard work of building a real, committed relationship. It's a validation trap. It promises you intimacy without any of the responsibility. And notice this. The warning isn't about her looks, it's about her words. Smoother than oil. Why? Because this trap works by telling you exactly what your ego is desperate to hear, especially when you feel weak or unseen. It's like a powerful drug for a lonely soul. But the aftertaste, the end result, is always bitterness. And this is where it leads. An ox is an incredibly powerful animal, but it's blind to its destination when it's being led. This kind of temptation does the same thing to you. It makes you blind to the consequences. It convinces you to trade your entire future for a single moment of validation, and it leads you straight to the slaughterhouse of your own destiny. The critical lesson here is to understand your own weak spots. This trap only works when you're getting your sense of worth from someone else's attention. Remember, true intimacy is built in the light. If a relationship needs the perfume of secrecy to survive, it's because it's already rotting from the inside. So let's bring all this together with a quick, practical red flag checklist. Just ask yourself these simple questions. Does this person seem almost bored or anxious when things are peaceful? Do they disrespect your core mission or just refuse to learn and grow? Is intimacy offered up like a quick fix without any real connection? And, this is a big one, does the relationship require secrecy to survive? These are your warning signs. Pay attention to them. Now, after all these warnings, it's really easy to focus outward, to look for all the red flags in other people. But the single most powerful move you can make is to turn that focus inward. The secret to finding the right partner isn't about having a better search strategy, it's about becoming a better man. So here's your action plan. First, get absolutely crystal clear on your non-negotiable values. Write them down. Second, forge your character in the fire of small daily disciplines. It's the small things that build you. Third, stop trying to figure this all out on your own. Get wisdom from older men you respect. And finally, number 4, get so locked in on your purpose that anyone not running in the same direction simply gets left in the dust. You know, when you strip it all away, it really boils down to this one choice, every single day. On one side, you've got temporary thrills. They're fueled by external validation, shortcuts, and secrecy. And on the other, you have a lasting legacy, one that's built on integrity, shared values, and truth. Every decision you make pushes you toward one side or the other. And so we end with this. Solomon's story is a heavy warning, but it does not have to be your story. The ultimate defense for your mission isn't about finding the perfect person out there. It's about becoming a person of deep, unwavering character yourself. So the real question isn't just, who are you looking for? It's, who are you becoming?